everyone, this is Professor Morgan Roth, and I'm just going to do an overview of the internal organs. As you can see, I have already opened up the ventral cavity, so we're just going to do a walkthrough. So let's start with the heart, since that's as good a place as any. So here is the heart. Surrounding the heart is going to be the pericardial sac. If you slit that open, you can start to see the heart itself. So you have the right atrium. Here is the right ventricle, this is the left ventricle, and the left atrium would be in here, right here, where the little auricles are, the flaps. Okay, and then surrounding the heart, that is the lungs. See all the lungs there, and you have the major blood vessels coming out of it. I haven't really dissected for them, but the blue ones will be the veins, and the red ones will be the arteries. And then continuing up, you see all of this. This is muscle, and there's also possibly the thymus in there. If you kind of remove all of that, you will get to a tube that has a striped appearance. It definitely has a very specific notifiable texture. That is the trachea. Okay, so here's the trachea. Immediately behind the trachea is a very soft tube. That is going to be the esophagus. So if I can move that nerve out of the way. This soft tube immediately behind the trachea is going to be the esophagus. And then further up here, that would be the larynx. Okay, so let's see. The esophagus will continue on behind the heart. It'll be found in here behind the lungs. It's going to pierce through this structure here. So this right here, this is the diaphragm. And the diaphragm separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal pelvic cavity. So this is a sheet of skeletal muscle, and that's involved in breathing. It sits right here on top of the liver. So this big structure here, all of this textured stuff, this is the liver. And if you take the liver and kind of pick it up, behind it you'll see a pouch. This is the stomach. And coming off of the stomach is another textured structure. So it looks a lot like the liver, but it is definitely smaller, and it's going to be just to the left of the stomach, attached by this soft structure, which is called the greater omentum. That is called the spleen. So this is the liver, this is the stomach, this is the spleen. Beneath all of that, we can see the intestines, and there are two different types of intestines. You have the small intestine and then the large intestine. So the major difference between the small and the large intestine is the size of the tube. Okay, so actually the small intestine is by volume larger, but it has a smaller diameter, and so that would be the small intestine. And then the large intestine has a larger diameter, so that would be the large intestine. There you go. Okay, so if we take the small intestine, you kind of pull it outwards. You'll notice that the small intestine is anchored to the posterior body wall by this special structure. This is called the mesentery. And the mesentery has some blood vessels in there. Okay, that is the mesentery. Okay, let's see. What else can we find? Okay, let's look at kidneys. So if we take all the intestines and we push them off to the side, see this structure right here? That's the kidney. Now the kidney is what we call retroperitoneal. Retro meaning behind, peritoneal as in the peritoneum, the parietal peritoneum. So it's behind the membrane that lines the abdominal pelvic cavity wall. So if you break through that, there's usually quite some fat in here too, maybe. This right here would be the kidney. Okay. So put that to the side. Now coming off of the kidney, we have the ureter. The ureter is very soft. Okay, and then we can also find the blood vessels in here as well. So let's move that large intestine off to the side. Again, blue for veins, so the blue one would be the inferior vena cava, and then the pinker one next to it would be the abdominal aorta. So inferior vena cava, abdominal aorta, very soft ureter coming directly off of the kidney there. So the ureter is going to go into the urinary bladder. And the kidney on the other side, there it is. Okay. And there you go, the ureter as well, right there. So again, I'm not doing any full dissection. I'm just kind of showing you briefly where to find things. There's the kidney back in there. Okay, that's pretty much it.